Today we'll be getting into the big WrestleMania spoiler that was just dropped by Sasha Banks. Nikki Cross calling out WWE's usage of her, and more. Before we get into the news, just a reminder to subscribe to the WWCC Shorts channel. We have daily shorts going up over there. That's all wrestling related, so definitely check that out. Let's start things off with Nikki Cross. Everyone is noticing big names from the women's division like Bayley that are missing right now, but Bayley isn't the only one that's missing. Nikki Cross hasn't been a part of any storyline at all, dating back to November of 2020. That was the last time that Nikki Cross was truly a part of a WWE storyline. Nikki Cross played a crucial role in Alexa Bliss's transition into joining the Firefly Funhouse. It was on SmackDown last summer where cracks were starting to show amongst the tag team and friendship of Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. After an embarrassing loss, Alexa tried to comfort Nikki after the match, but Nikki pushed Alexa off and walked off the ramp. That's when The Fiend came out and attacked Alexa Bliss. Nothing was ever the same after that night. Alexa Bliss would go down a dark, twisted route of falling in love with The Fiend and becoming obsessed with him and losing herself in the process. Nikki instantly regretted leaving Alexa alone in the ring that night and puts all the blame on herself for what happened and what's still going on with Alexa Bliss. Nikki felt like if she would have stayed in the ring with Alexa that night on SmackDown, then The Fiend would have never attacked Alexa Bliss. So there was so much guilt there on Nikki Cross's character that she couldn't stop blaming herself for everything that was going on. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross would become cool with each other again, but Nikki knew something was off and wasn't right with Alexa. That led to Alexa showing up with The Fiend and showing up in the Firefly Funhouse. At this point, Nikki Cross still had a purpose and storyline. Her purpose was to try to still get in the way and snap Alexa Bliss out of whatever trance she was in. That led to Nikki Cross to encounter both the Firefly Funhouse Alexa Bliss and The Fiend Alexa Bliss several times backstage. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross would meet a few times in the ring on Raw. Alexa would pick up the wins, and that was unfortunately it for that storyline. Everyone expected more out of that storyline and feud between Alexa and Nikki, but it's just what we're used to seeing these days with these sort of storylines. Crazy expectations and build-up, but then in the end, we end up with this terribly weak outcome and delivery. And there was just so much potential there for Nikki Cross. Maybe in the process of trying to save Alexa Bliss from the trance, Nikki ended up under the Fiend's trance as well. Little things like that were all possibilities for her story. It was even great for Alexa Bliss because she had something to do and had a feud going on for a while. Alexa Bliss is up there as one of the best overall characters in WWE right now, but she hasn't had a real proper feud in WWE herself since her character's transition. All we've seen was a few Nikki Cross matches and a few matches with Asuka, with both stories going nowhere. But since then, Nikki Cross's character has been nowhere to be seen for several months. Nikki Cross took to Twitter to call out WWE's usage of her and voice out her frustrations with her position. She had this to say: "I got my bachelor's, I'm halfway through my master's, I'll get a PhD if I want to. I'm a qualified personal trainer and gym instructor. Heck, I could teach a spin class if I wanted to, but I want what I want. I want to wrestle. I want to entertain. It's what I was born to do." Nikki's tweet received a massive amount of support from the fans. Nikki Cross is pretty much saying that she's qualified to leave right now and have another career waiting for her. But it's not what her heart wants. She believes that she was born to wrestle and entertain. But she doesn't really have the opportunity to do either of those things right now. It all comes down to what we always say about the main roster's women's division. You're not in the title picture, then you're not on television. It's as simple as that, and you can really say that for any of the other WWE women that's missing from TV right now. So Nikki is just putting it out there that she doesn't want the title or anything like that. She just wants to simply wrestle, and that's being denied to her at this current time. Like we talked about, it just feels like they dropped the ball on that Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross feud. It just feels like it could have been way more than what we saw of just 2 matches and a few backstage segments with no follow-up after that. These two were best friends for well over a year, held the tag team titles twice, and had a close bond. All of a sudden, Alexa gets taken by The Fiend and Nikki's character stops caring after a few weeks. It just feels like it just ended too soon and that there was potentially more story to tell there. Especially if they knew they weren't going to have Nikki Cross do anything else after that. Then they should have really extended that feud. Not saying Nikki Cross should have automatically joined the Firefly Funhouse too, but you could have at least flirted with the idea for a little bit. Everyone is affected when they're interacting with the Fiend, right? So why not give Alexa Bliss her own effect? And we could have seen Nikki Cross battle that effect from Alexa and see how she managed it. But we got one match in November, the other one was in January, and that was it for them. So it's really unfortunate. We'll have to see if WWE finds something else for Nikki Cross to do here in the future. Sasha Banks drops WrestleMania spoiler? That's what it seemed to look like. Towards the beginning of the year, WWE was heavily advertising Sasha Banks vs. Bianca Belair as the main event of WrestleMania. But in recent weeks, WWE hasn't referred to Sasha Banks vs. Bianca Belair as the main event of WrestleMania. So this understandably had fans worried that maybe WWE was hiding the fact that they changed their minds about Sasha and Bianca being the main event. There was even a feeling a few weeks ago that Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre would main event night number 1, but it looks like things are swinging back in the direction of Sasha and Bianca. Reports came out a few days ago that said Sasha Banks vs. Bianca Belair would main event WrestleMania because WWE had faith in them and that match. Obviously, the Sasha and Bianca storyline didn't live up to everyone's expectations. 81% of you said in a recent poll that you felt like WWE mishandled the booking of their storyline. But one thing that's still for sure is the fact that Sasha and Bianca are still going to put on an outstanding match that deserves to be in the main event of WrestleMania. Sasha Banks made this comment during the Token CEO podcast that seems to confirm that the match will in fact main event night number 1. She had this to say: "I've been crying all morning. It's Monday. WrestleMania is on Saturday. I can't believe this 10-year-old girl is about to live her dream and main event WrestleMania. I truly believe that." They see someone like Bianca Belair, who is brand new and just came into the game. She won the Royal Rumble. She's so athletic and so incredible. She is the future of WWE, and so am I. I'm younger, don't forget. At WrestleMania, we will be main eventing. This is my first singles match at WrestleMania, and it's the first time it's 2 African-American women will be headlining WrestleMania. This is crazy because it's bigger than me. The beautiful thing is, everything I've done with WWE, not only has it been for me, but it's been bigger than me because of the impact it's made on so many amazing people all over the world, of every color and race. I'm letting it all sink in. I've been calling my friend Bailey all morning. Oh my, I'm freaking out. I'm so thankful. So, some big news there from Sasha, that this match will main event WrestleMania, and you can just hear in her words how much it means to her. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments, don't forget to subscribe, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.